If you start making a game from scratch using an empty scene, by default, the ground is flat and endless. To edit the ground, navigate to the Build tab and tap Ground. The Ground Type drop-down menu lets you choose between the types: empty, infinite plane, and height map. World Bottom Bound slider sets the lowest point of the game world. Together with the Destroy Out of Bounds toggle, you can define that objects that fall past this bound will be destroyed automatically. You can also adjust the physical and visual material of the ground. The default ground type, flat and endless infinite plane, is great, for example, for games where the player sticks to ground level or eventually hits the ground when falling. You could also use the infinite plane setting for scenes where you need a body of water. With the physics settings of objects and logic, you can make things float halfway in the sea, or you can have the player start to swim or die when it hits the water. When the ground type is infinite plane, the world bottom bound is on the same height with the visible ground level. Sometimes you don't need a ground at all. Maybe your game takes place in space, or you're making a puzzle game. Platformer games in which a player can die by falling often make use of the empty ground type. Another option for games in which you need a ground is height map, which creates a rolling landscape. The height map feature in HypeHype is still being developed, and it has some drawbacks compared to infinite plane. Height maps are not endless, and the height map editor used for defining the steepness of the hills doesn't show the changes in the editor until you quit and come back. What if you wanted to make the ground or platform icy and slippery, or control how hard objects bounce back after falling? You can adjust the physical material of the ground and change the visual material as well. It's possible to assign the same materials to the ground and any other objects you've used to create a landscape, in case you want them to behave like and look similar to the ground.